2021 was good. We started off in Guntersville. Things were trending in the right direction until the final. I made a mistake, and obviously that race didn't end as well as I'd had hoped for.
We had some speed coming right to us. That was Andrew Tate. He just blew straight across the lake and cut the course.
Just went through the DMZ. He just went through the DMZ. Oh my goodness.
Madison, outside of a little bit of an incident in the final, I think we had a very, very good weekend. We ended up second there. We sustained some damage here in Tri-Cities and cut our season a little bit short.
Yeah, he's got one of the bearings has gone off the boat by Corey Peabody with a great turn. He's now half a rooster tail behind, and the 12 Andrew Tate loses power. He is in the water right here in front of me.
But it was a great experience working with Tom Anderson and Brooke Tyler and driving for Rob, Mr. Graham. It's kind of sad to see that end the way it did, but there's no hard feelings. We maintain a relationship, and I want what's best for them, and he wants what's best for me, and I hope to hell that we'll have that big red boat out here racing with us someday soon. The deal with Mr. Goodman and Mr. Grooms and the Madison team was kind of a lot of balls in the air. Jimmy not knowing what he's doing, who's going to drive what boat, what's happening. There's probably other people who might be able to answer that question more specifically and a little better than me, but Mr. Goodman, Kelly Jo Norris at Goodman Real Estate really wanted me to drive the U91 and be a part of their team and their program. And everything kind of fell into place, and I am grateful and looking forward to a great season here in 2023. I think driving with the Madison team, there's obviously big shoes to fill. Jimmy and Jeff, both super talented individuals, a great history, a very prestigious team, and you know, I think we have good things coming down the line here. It's an exciting time to be a part of it, and hopefully we can learn quickly here and adapt quickly, get the ball rolling soon, and be ready to go when we hit the water here in Guntersville. I have known Dylan probably since he was 8 or 9 years old. We grew up racing outboards together. He is a few years younger than me. He doesn't have any gray hairs yet, much like myself when I came into the sport. But, you know, he's a great kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, successful in business, successful in life. It's been a privilege to be able to call him, you know, one of my best friends now. The age gap's kind of shrunk a little bit as we get older. But you use the term teammates, something that I'm not very fond of. I think I have a black and gold shirt on. He's gonna have a black and baby blue shirt on, Home Street blue shirt on. So we're both under the Madison Racing umbrella. We have a good personal relationship. We've raced against each other for years, but we've always raced against each other for years. And I'm looking forward to doing that with him this year, hopefully moving forward, years to come, with a sense of respect and not too much respect, I don't think, but at least on the race course. And I think both of us being under the umbrella, we're going to represent this team, the Madison team, well, but creating our own identities and being our own drivers with the U1 and the U91. Goals for 2023, learn fast, go fast, keep everything in one piece. I think we have very good equipment. We have a very knowledgeable, experienced team. Hopefully I can live up to the expectations surrounding the team, but one day at a time. I think staying focused on the first heat Saturday morning, the second heat Saturday, the final on Saturday, and then move into Sunday. Being consistent, learning every time I'm in the boat, and being better as a driver, and hopefully making that boat go faster every time I'm in it is a good goal to start with. At the end of the day, we all want to win. Gold Cups, national championships, that's all fun to talk about, but that's a long time from now. And if we can keep putting Saturdays and then Sundays together, hopefully we're in the conversation for whatever it might be. We don't have the biggest field of boats, but we have one of the most competitive fleet of boats in H1 history. And I am super pumped up to be here and be a part of that. I'm going to be proud to be racing against both the strong boats, the bucket list racing, the U11 with the Rainies and Jamie Nielsen. I think Jamie's done a fantastic job the last couple of years and keeps doing better and better. You know, Brent Hall's going to be new this year. It's an exciting time to be involved. I think it's a great thing for the sport. Seattle is one of the hotbeds of hydroplane racing. Being from Detroit, I'd miss Detroit, obviously, but it's good to see the Gold Cup go other places. And having it in Seattle is very, very special for a lot of people. Seattle is special to me. It's the place I got my first H1 Unlimited victory.
And much more time than it is Andrew Tate. Sound Propeller Services and Les Schwab Tires.
Andrew Tate, this is a story. He came into the sport with the best pedigree. Everybody said everything he's ever touched, he wins in. He comes here to Seattle the first time, wins with a boat that hasn't won in a long time. He won his first unlimited heat ever. Andrew Tate, this kid is the real deal.
I love Lake Washington. I know it's not the most common answer for people to say that that's one of their favorite places to race, but I truly enjoy it. I think it's a challenge, and I think the 2-mile race course is really going to enhance the competitiveness of what is already a super competitive field. So I'm looking forward to it. Growing up, the easiest answer would be my dad. Whatever boat he was involved in driving for. Steve Woomer with Jim Lucero as the crew chief and the Winston Eagle and the Smokin' Joes. Not only was that a great team with a lot of history, but it was my dad driving the boat. And I also, in my opinion, looked the coolest. And as a little kid, that was a big deal. Some of the other ones that stick out from that time period growing up, I always loved the Tide boat and the way it looked. Bill Wooster was always go out of his way to talk to me and my little brother and make me a part of some of the things happening in the pits. I was always a big Chip Hanauer fan, even when he was driving against my dad. Chip was another guy that was very personable with me and my brother. You know, he'd go out of his way to say hi, how you doing? Take the time to make sure that we had some sort of relationship. And actually, Chip was one of the people that was very, very good to me when I was coming into H1. We had probably a 3-hour conversation on the phone before I got signed up to go race for Jones. And, you know, is this something I can do? Is it something I want to do? What do I need to be looking at? And, you know, so that relationship going back outside of my father, it's always nice to have people like that you could lean on or want to see you do well. You know, my first real memory is has nothing to do with boat racing, actually. Me and Trevor Hansen, we kind of the same age. We're about a year apart, but growing up, he was my buddy in the pits, and you know, we always had more fun going and spending our parents' money climbing the rock wall, or hanging out in Detroit and racing RC cars. So that was a core memory for me, you know, one of my first buddies at the boat races who you only really got to see when we got to go racing. Being involved with my grandmother and my mother while my dad was off doing whatever it was outside of driving the boat, sponsor obligations, dinners, promotional stuff, or actually racing. You know, I was watching the races with my mother and my grandmother, Charlotte. We would ride around on little go-peds through the pits. As far as the boats on course, as a kid, that wasn't a big part of it for me, but the people, the relationships, that's my real first true memories of boat racing. H1 Unlimiteds are very, very big. That is probably the biggest difference from all the other classes. You have to know what the boat's doing, you have to know where the boat's at. They're very big, they're very heavy, and they're very fast. Things happen, they happen quickly, and if you aren't preemptive, if you aren't understanding what the boat's telling you, where the boat's at, what the water is going to be like before you get there, you can get yourself into a bad spot in a hurry. Some of the other boats, you know, the little outboards are awesome because you're moving around constantly with your body weight. You don't have a canard wing, you're essentially balancing the boat with your body. So that's pretty cool, a big difference between the two. And then the turbines are, compared to limited inboard stuff, a lot like a 350, I think, 2.5 as far as power to weight goes. But Grand Prix, I'm kind of going down a wormhole here with the question, but the Grand Prix will put you back in the seat a little bit. That's kind of in another level when you're talking about acceleration and nimbleness. But we're here, we're racing H1 Unlimited, and there's nothing else like it on the planet. Where are you going? Here, like here up?
Yeah.
Okay.
G up.
So I can do whatever I want with my hands?
Whatever you want.
Stop.
Felt like a spaceship.
Yeah.